test. This is the test. This is a test. Okay, test. That's what it is. Testing 1, 2, and 3. Testing 1, 2, and 3. Oh, did it go off already? I guess the test is over. Yep, the test is over. Okay, this is a test. Of course, life is a test every day. So that's nothing new to but it's always a test. Good morning. It is 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay, it's 7:04. I figure I'd come on a little later today, like 5 minutes, because I can. Good morning to you. Now, you know what time it is. It's time for our daily bread. And then we'll get into the conversation for today. But we have to start it off right. Yeah, we got to start it off right. But good morning to you folks out there that are up this time of morning. If you're not up this time of morning, you need to get up. It's your wasting sunshine. Okay, beautiful day outside. Beautiful day. Not raining. It's amazing. We complain when it rains, and then we complain when it don't rain. I guess God says sometimes, "What am I gonna do with them? They're never satisfied." Well, that's true. We're not, but we are working on it. All right. So next up, it's our daily bread right here on Decisions 2.0. Why do we call it that? Because everything you do requires you to make one, and even when you don't make one, well, you just made one. So we'll be back. You guys, hold on. We'll be right back. Well, I hope we will anyway. Yeah, I think we will be in a couple of minutes here. Hang loose as a goose. I think there's a song like that, Hang Loose as a Goose. I don't know where it came from, but okay then. We'll be back.
Being honest about our struggles allows us to help each other.
Our Daily Bread.
Today's encouragement from the Our Daily Bread devotional was written by Cindy Hess Casper. As she ventured out several weeks after shoulder surgery, Cindy was fearful. She had become comfortable using her arm sling, but both her surgeon and physical therapist now told her to stop wearing it. That's when she saw this statement. At this stage, sling wear is discouraged, except as a visible sign of vulnerability in an uncontrolled environment. Ah, that was it. Cindy feared the enthusiastic person who might give her a bear hug, or the unaware friend who might bump her accidentally. She was hiding behind her flimsy baby blue sling because she feared being hurt. Allowing ourselves to be vulnerable can be scary. We want to be loved and accepted for who we are, but we fear that if people truly knew us, they would reject us, and we could get hurt. What if they found out we are not smart enough, kind enough, good enough? But as members of God's family, we have a responsibility to help each other grow in faith. We're told to encourage one another, to build each other up, and to be patient, bearing with one another in love. When we are honest and vulnerable with other believers, we may discover we have mutual struggles battling temptation, or learning how to live obediently. But most of all, we will share the wonder of God's gift of grace in our lives.
Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Ephesians chapter 4, verses 2 through 6. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to one hope when you were called. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all. That's today's scripture reading from Ephesians chapter 4, verses 2 through 6.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, many times our fear of being hurt keeps us from being honest about our struggles. Help us to remember how much you love us, and help us to be patient and loving with others. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
And now we pay homage to all of our armed forces, fleet in the United States of America, in which my son is gladly one of them now, out there at Fort Leonard Wood, training to be the best. Outstanding. Of course, we won't go airborne, but that's okay. You don't have to go airborne. All right. So good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine, and it's a great day to be on top of the ground. And the ground's not on top of you. Alrighty. Okay, enough of that. We got enough of that. We good. We are good on that one. Okay. They didn't know we were good. We're the PT time is almost over. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Hope this day finds you well. It is a Wednesday morning. It is, believe it or not, it is the 25th day of June. Can you believe the year is halfway over by now? And I remember January 1st. And they say the one thing that waits on no man is time. And it doesn't. It doesn't wait on anybody. It is its own boss. Time is its own boss. You can't stop it. You can't speed it up. You can't slow it down. It is just something that just happens. It's part of the makeup of the universe. For those who count time, now most of us don't really count time that much, but it keeps rolling right along. You can't destroy it, at all. It's coming. It's coming whether you like it or not. It's coming. Okay, so just good evening, good morning to everybody. Got a few things to talk about today, if you want to. But before we get to that, we're going to tell you what day it is. Because see, each day of the year, they celebrate. They celebrate things, and I just happened to find out what today's celebration is. Okay, so today's celebration is backyard safety check day. You need to check the backyard summertime to make sure that you don't have stuff all back there for the kids to fall on or cut themselves and all that stuff. So check the backyard today. It's summertime. Everybody's outside. Supposed to be outside anyway. Bourdain Day. Don't exactly know what that is, but okay then. Global Beatles Day. Croatia Independence Day. We don't really do nothing about that. But since the internet's all over the world, we're just gonna say what it is. Goat's Cheese Day. So now I hate to sound dumb here, but goats make cheese? Really? I didn't know that. So goats, we get cheese from goats? I thought cheese came from milk. So am I goats make cheese? Really? Huh. I didn't know that. International Day of the Seafarer. Islamic New Year. Mozambique Independence Day. The National Camp Counts Day. I don't know who it counts for, but I'm going along with it. Here's one. National Catfish Day. I love catfish. I mean, catfish is good. It really is. It really is. I like catfish. I haven't had it in a long time, but yeah, I still like it. It's good. It's good stuff. If you can get somebody who actually knows how to cook the catfish. Okay. National Day of Joy. This is the day that we all spread a little joy around the world and make somebody's life a little bit better. Okay. National Leon Day. So if your name is Leon, we celebrate your name today and you with it. Hopefully, I don't know too many Leons. Leon Spinks. Did I tell you guys I went to school with? I went to the same school Leon Spinks with when he was there. Yeah. Yeah. I probably was the only guy that beat him. Okay, that's not exactly true, but I could have. Okay, I'm just saying. National Olaplex Day, whatever that is, I don't know, but I'm going to celebrate it. National Parchment Day. National Strawberry Parfait Day, whatever that is. Please take my children to work day. Okay, I don't know. Some of y'all get kids too bad to take to work. Really, some of y'all's kids just way too bad to take to work. So do not subject your fellow employees to taking your children to work. Okay, because you don't want to be bothered with them most of the time. Reserve Day. Okay. Statehood Day today. That's what we celebrate. Every state, I guess, got its own hood. The Day of the Filipino. Okay, I guess that's I guess that's a thing or two. World Vertigo Day. I don't know what vertigo is. I keep hearing about it. Is that when you can't stand up straight? I don't really have a clue. What is vertigo? I know they had a movie about it one time. It's really good. National Boys and Girls Club Week Day. Organic Beer Fest, whatever that means, I don't know. I mean, is there any other way to make beer? I don't know. Anthony Bourdain's birthday. I don't know who he is either, but today is his day. Eric Carle's birthday. George Michael's birthday. George Michael. He was what was the name of that Culture Club? Yeah, George Michael. He was with them. Okay. Today is his birthday. Kylie Cantrell's birthday. Don't know who she is either. A lot of birthdays going on today. Madison Ray's birthday. McKenna Grace's birthday. Never heard of her either, but that's okay. She's never heard of me either. So we good. I'm just saying. Anyway, those are just some of the things that happen on this day. some of the things. I would imagine there are many, many, many more things that happen on this day that we don't know anything about. But I'm just going to give you a couple of those things this morning to get your day straight. Hope everybody's doing well. Get up and make breakfast, eggs and bacon, whatever y'all do this time of morning. Bacon and I love the smell of coffee, but I don't like the coffee. It's kind of like onions. I love the smell of onions. I just don't like the onions. So yeah, you probably never find any coffee in the house with me. I just don't. I don't drink it, but it sure does smell good. It lets you know that somebody's up cooking early in the morning, and you are hopefully will be the benefactor of that task. You'll get some breakfast or something like that. I'm thinking. I've been trying to make cheese and eggs, but it always comes out like soup. So I forgot how to do that too. Man, I don't know. I forgot how to cook for the most part. I used to know how to cook, but something happened. It just well, I can make rice because I got a rice cooker. I got a rice cooker. Cook the rice cooks the cooker cooks the rice and it takes about like I don't know 4 minutes. I don't know 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it takes. But it always comes out perfect. Okay, unless I forget to go back there and unplug the thing. But other than that, I can make rice, and that's about the only thing I can make. And I can make boiled eggs because all you gotta do is boil the eggs. And now the problem is, how do you tell when an egg is done? How do you tell when a boiled egg is done? Because I never figured. Now somebody said you turn it around on the counter, and if it stands straight up, then it's done. I guess that's where you find out. I don't know really how you tell if a boiled egg is done. I guess you can crack it open, and if the stuff don't come out of it, then that means it's done. I'm not exactly sure what. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how that works. Anyway, good morning to you. Some of the headlines. Again, this is National Boys and Girls Club. Celebrate service of young people. Appreciate that. Not that anybody cares. Tua Tagovailoa is selling his house. I don't care, but it makes WSFA thinks it should be on the news, so they put it on the news. Okay. Metro Area Crime Suppression Unit marks first year in Montgomery. What kind of grade would you give them? Well, I don't know. I just don't know. Okay. Alabama law enforcement agency seizes drug paraphernalia from retail stores in multiple cities. Now, let's talk about this for a second. Now, I don't even know why that made the headline. I don't know why it made the headline. Okay. A recent operation conducted by the Alabama law enforcement agency, ALEA, has led to the seizure of large amounts of drug paraphernalia at retail stores in 4 cities. And of course, I think one of those cities, of course, is Montgomery. Okay, I'm good with that. A recent operation. Okay, Monday, special agent with ALEA's State Bureau of Investigation executed search warrants on CBD and vape shops in Troy, Enterprise, Wetumpka, and Clanton. ALEA said, okay, I already told him. I appreciate that, Mark. I already told him. ALEA said that the operation was a culmination of months-long investigation following numerous complaints alleging that the stores in these towns were violating Alabama marijuana laws. Now, we marijuana for the most part is almost legal everywhere. I don't know why we still wasting time running behind people because of marijuana. They're gonna drink it. We sell you okay. So we sell you alcohol. The state is in the alcohol business, but they don't want you to smoke, have marijuana, but they gonna sell you tobacco. Okay, tobacco is a lot worse for you than marijuana. Now I don't smoke stuff myself because I just don't want to get high. Because if I got high, I probably wouldn't know what I would do. But I thought about it sometimes. ALEA said the operation was a culmination of months-long investigation following numerous complaints alleging that the stores in these towns were violating Alabama's marijuana laws. The agency, along with Alabama Attorney General's office, held a press conference Friday at 9:00 a.m. Just to pat themselves on the back and say we went out and got all them pipes and all that stuff from these stores. Well, here's the irony. Here is the irony of this. Steve Marshall, who is the Attorney General, I kind of like him. I mean, I don't have anything against him. we go out and grab paraphernalia. In other words, them crack pipes and stuff they sell at stores. I mean, listen, if you don't get it at the store, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it someplace. But here's the irony of this: we live in a state that allows people to carry guns down the street. Okay, wait, wait. To carry guns down the street in the open, even a rifle in the open. We allow that, and we actually act like we scared of marijuana. Really? We think about this now. We got people wasting time running behind people selling junk that you can smoke marijuana out of, but we allow you to go down the road all day long with a rifle, a gun on your side, or concealed. So if somebody asks Elkins, which is me, if somebody asks me, which one would you rather have? The right to carry a weapon open or people smoking marijuana? Okay, give me the marijuana any day. Now, the only thing I wouldn't like is people smoking marijuana while they're driving, because it makes no sense for you to go down the street. You smoking too much marijuana if you're going down the road and I smell it. Okay, if you and if you're going down the road like you're 20 miles up the road now and I still smell it, that's too much marijuana. I do think we need to curb your thirst on marijuana. But so we live in a state where we can carry marijuana, but we cannot. Okay, we cannot have we cannot have, I guess, I don't know, marijuana vapes or these vape stores, whatever these stores are. Although I'm against, as a matter of fact, vaping is probably more dangerous than smoking marijuana. It probably is. It's from what the reports I've seen, the medical reports and the medical conditions of people's lungs who vape. My son vapes, my oldest one. I keep telling him don't do it, but he'll learn sooner or later. So we live in a state that allows you to walk around town with a gun, but the Attorney General's office thinks it's really important to go around and take people's stuff out of their store because somebody might smoke marijuana. Really? I mean, you see the hypocrisy of this state and Georgia about just as bad. But again, why? Why? As a matter of fact, the cannabis people are almost ready to, I guess, to let people buy medical marijuana. Okay, almost ready to let them buy marijuana. But again, you do see the hypocrisy of going after people because they got marijuana paraphernalia in their stores, right? You do see the hypocrisy, right? But we'll let you walk down the street with a gun that can kill everybody. I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. Listen, as a matter of fact, I cannot remember anybody getting high on marijuana that wanted to go out and commit a crime. I just can't remember. I mean, most people who get high on marijuana, they just want to go to sleep or they want something to eat. Okay, I'm just saying. I don't. It's not a big deal to me, but I don't care if they smoke marijuana. I really don't. But don't smoke it. Treat it like alcohol. If you're going down the street, okay, if you're going down the street or driving your car and you're smoking marijuana, then maybe you need to get a ticket or lose your license for a day or something like that. But just for smoking the marijuana, are we serious? Really? I mean, are we really serious? Are we really going to waste the taxpayers' dollars running behind people with marijuana? Now, I never smoked it. I don't really care much about it. But now think about how crazy that is. We let you carry a gun, a big old gun, so not a little gun. We let you carry. I saw a guy with a MAC-10 one day going down Norman Bridge Road. We let you carry a gun, but we're going to go raid a gun in the open, but we are going to raid your store. It must have been a slow day for Steve Marshall and Aaliyah. must have been a slow day because to waste manpower, waste all that manpower, which they gave them to July the 1st. Okay, but they turned around and went back in all these stores. So which person is more dangerous? The guy who buys a vape, a guy who buys a paraphernalia from Smoker's Mary Joe, whatever he wants to smoke, or the guy who walks down the street with a gun in the open, a rifle? Which one is more dangerous? We know which one is more dangerous. Yeah, yes, we do. We know which one's more dangerous, but we for political sakes, we spend more time running after somebody just because they might smoke some marijuana. I mean, aren't we over this marijuana thing by now? It's better for you than tobacco. And if you notice, and alcohol, the state sells tobacco, the state sells alcohol. And both of those two things can make you sick. They can make you ill. But we want to put people in jail, take their stuff. That you may smoke marijuana, you may, okay, and that's bad. That's bad for you. But to come out and raid your stores for some paraphernalia, not even the marijuana, but the thing that you could smoke marijuana of. I mean, I think you can smoke marijuana out of a soda can. I see somebody doing something with a soda can. I don't really know what they're doing, what's in there, but come on, really? A gun is probably the most dangerous thing in our society right now because more people are getting killed by weapons and things of that nature. And we worried about people selling paraphernalia in their store. Really, it must be a slow day at the Attorney General's office. Okay, must be one. It's got to be a slow day because who would waste the time on that? Really, I mean, who would waste the time on that? Guns, or he could have been out there looking for people who want to do people harm with these guns. But no, we want to, at least marijuana, I don't think you do people harm. I don't believe you do. I think marijuana, I think you do yourself maybe a little harm, but I do know it has some medical properties in it that some cancer patients smoke it and use it because it's supposed to deaden some of the pain, which I'm good with that. I'm good. I'm good with that. Again, I'd rather you smoke marijuana than walk down the street with a rifle. Okay, so Aaliyah, hey, what's that guy over there? That guy over there, he's got a MAC-10 and he's got an AK-47. Oh, we can't stop him. Hey, let's stop right here. Let's get this guy. This got that bowl in there where they may smoke some marijuana in it. I mean, the sense of it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Well, seriously? And they gave these people to July the 1st, but they're going to go out and raid. I mean, are we heroes now? Are they heroes now because they went out and messed with people paraphernalia? Really? Seriously? That's the most proving and important thing in Alabama right now is using the resources of our small dollars to go after people in a store that sells paraphernalia, not marijuana, but they sell paraphernalia. And paraphernalia are those things that we use to smoke it, pack it, clip it, whatever. The scales on it, whatever it is. I don't care. Okay. I don't really care. It don't make me smoke it, but your gun going down the road can hurt me. They can hurt me. And we've seen this recently. I'd rather put some ABI agents on the road, on the street, and on Saturday night, downtown Montgomery, and see who's carrying guns and watch them. Okay. But I know they say people have a constitutional right. So how do we get a constitutional right to carry a gun that can kill somebody, but we don't have a constitutional right to smoke a little Mary Joe? I don't know what that is. I mean, it seemed like to me that we got it backwards. We have it backwards. That's just me. Anyway, what else is going on? Oh, if you want to give us a combo check here, you can giving us a call. We don't mind talking to you if you want to. I mean, am I wrong or right? Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? Seriously, are you really that concerned? Is there anybody out there that's that concerned about stores selling paraphernalia that you can smoke marijuana by, or crack cocaine, whichever 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 one is your flavor? I know. Do we still have crack? Do we have crack anymore? Do we still have it? I mean, is it gone now? I know when I was in the army, they talk about, well, Reagan let it come in. Reagan let it come in. Well, I don't know if Reagan let it come in or not, but you don't have to smoke it. Just because it's there doesn't mean you got to smoke it. It doesn't mean that you have to take it because it's there. So I'm just thinking, we ought to use our time a little wiser than that. Now, so much about paraphernalia and drugs. I got another subject here that just kind of, it has bugged me for a long time. Now I'm not really an animal lover. Okay, I like them. I like the chicken, I like the pig, because I like me some fried chicken, and I like me some pork chops. So I like animals. But however, every summer, okay, I want you to follow me here. Every summer, when the people up Means go down to Florida and they jump in the ocean, and some of them get bit by sharks. Now, I want you guys to think about this and think about this hard before you decide to go down to the beach. I just want you to think about this. Now, you don't have to take my advice, but you think about this, okay? When you go to the beach, like some of you be going on the 4th of July, when you go to the beach and you go to jump in the water, let me give you some little science here. The water belongs to the sharks. Okay? Now let's understand that. The water belongs to the sharks. If you were at home, and somebody busts down your door and breaks in your house, yeah, you'd want to pretty much want to attack them too. When you do that, of course you would. So why do we get upset when the sharks, who are minding their own business in the water, their house, and we come down there by the hundreds, interfering with their family reunions, okay? And we wonder why the shark bites you, because you just broke into his house. If somebody breaks into your house, you do the same thing. Okay, so I believe that we have such a great disrespect for the shark till he gonna say, "Well, let me see if I can get y'all's attention." Okay, because what I'm looking at right now is the pork chop. Okay, so if you don't want to get bit by a shark, stay out of the shark's house. His house is the water. Okay, it's the sea. That's where he lives. I mean, think about this for a second. You come home and somebody's in your house. So why do we think that the shark wouldn't act the same way? Okay, you're swimming around. You're swimming around the place. You're swimming around. And all of a sudden, somebody jumps in the water. Well, you attack them too. You don't know who they are. I mean, come on, y'all. All right. So let's just use a little common sense when we go to the beach, so you will not get bitten by the shark. Stay out of the shark's house. That's his house. That's his domain. That's where he lives. And if you came to my house all of a sudden uninvited, I'd bite you too. I'm just thinking. Yeah, I'm just saying. Y'all might want to, instead of getting on the news, I got bit by a shark. And sharks not supposed to bite me. Yeah, they are. They got teeth. I like dogs. Dogs will bite you, no matter how nice they are, no matter how little puffy things are. If something has teeth, it will bite you. The shark got a lot of teeth. They got a couple of rows of them, as a matter of fact. So I'm just saying we may want to leave the sharks alone. It's their house. You are an invader in their house, and therefore they coming to get you. Okay? You're the invader. And so we get in the water with sharks and we act like we're the victims. You're not the victims. The shark is the victim because you jumped into his house and you didn't get invited. So my sympathy goes with the shark. Okay? Like in your house, if somebody broke in your house, you would be the victim. Okay? I'm just saying you might want to think about that a little bit before you go to the beach this weekend. As right before you go into the water, I want you to think about it. This is the shark's house. Should I go uninvited into the shark's house? Okay, that's what you ought to ask yourself. And once you reach the conclusion, one way or the other, okay, you're either gonna say, "Nah, I'm gonna let the shark sleep. Let him do its thing," or else I'm gonna jump in the water. So if you jump in the water, then the shark may have something for you. Okay. But if you walk away, you're going to be safe. I'm just saying, we blame the shark. It goes all over America. How in the world we blaming the shark when you jumped in his house? That's where he lives. And now we want to get rid of all the sharks because a shark bit you. Really? Okay. I mean, really? Okay. I'm just saying y'all might want to think about that for a second. I just want you to think about that while you get out there and the shark bites you over the holiday weekend because you jumped in his house. Again, if you went home right now, or you came home right now this afternoon, and somebody had broken into your house and they were still there, what would you do? I know what you would do. You would repel that son of a gun. Okay, the best you could. You would try to get rid of that invader in your house. Well, the shark is doing the same thing. He just trying to repel y'all for coming in his water. I mean, he minding his own business. Been in the water for a long time, for hundreds of years. He just minding his own business. And all of a sudden now, we got him on TV as a demon because you broke into his house and he bit you. Okay, I'm just saying, we might want to just leave their house alone. Okay, just leave their house alone. Is there anybody out there that disagrees with that? I mean, you can't disagree with that. 521-2963. If you do, and you call me, and you can give me your. I would love to know your reasoning behind why you think I'm not. I'm 100% totally right. I'm 100% totally right that you break in somebody's house, they got a right to repel you, and whether that house is the ocean or not, they got a right. They got a right to ask you to leave. Okay, because you are trespassing in the ocean in his house. I'm just saying. Yesterday, there was a story about a little girl who got her hand almost bitten off by a shark. Well, the shark didn't go get her. She went where the shark was. And so I should blame her parents. Okay? I should blame her parents for that because the shark didn't bother anybody. He was minding his own business, going in circles. And all of a sudden, he saw the thing jumping in the water, spreading the hand, and he bit her. Okay? We don't want to, we don't want the child to get bit, but parents, why do you let your children go in the water by themselves anyway? I wouldn't do that. Okay, I wouldn't do that. So anyway, so much for that. Okay, so that's the story of the shark right now. Okay, I'm tired of hearing about the shark bit somebody. That's the job of a shark, is to bite somebody that comes into their house. Okay, that's their job. So we're just gonna leave that alone. Okay. All right. Is there any disagreement on that? Really? Any disagreement on that? There can't be, because I follow a logical train of reasoning here. It's their house, you jump in it, and they bite you. That's what sharks do. They bite you. So if you don't want to get bitten by a shark over the holiday weekend, this coming up weekend, if you don't want to get bitten, not this week. Is it coming this weekend? That's not this weekend. Well, either way go. You don't want to get bitten by a shark at the beach. Don't jump in the water and bug the sharks. I'm just saying. You might not want to do that. Okay. Now, just remember, I warned you. I told you not to do it. And if you go ahead and do it, well, then to the victor go the spoils. I'm just saying. Okay. Here we go. Aronde whines every meeting his kids are getting hooked. Hooked on what? On marijuana? Well, that is just um, marijuana is a lot better for you than the internet sometimes. Okay, marijuana is a lot better for you than the internet sometimes. So our kids get and that one-eyed monster that we have in the house called the TV. That one-eyed monster that we have in the house, the TV, it's probably more dangerous than marijuana. Okay, it's probably more dangerous than marijuana and the computer. I mean, all things are gonna be good if you use them. But so Greg, what you think about the shark? I mean, do you go out in the in the ocean and mess with the shark? I mean, why do we do that? And then everybody wants to go round up the sharks now and have them for dinner because all they're doing is protecting their domain. I mean, that's all they're doing. Okay, I'm just saying. I like Aronde. Aronde's a good man. Tell you the truth. I mean, he may whine a little bit sometimes, but that's okay. We can live with a little whining, but just not too much of it. All right. Anybody hear about what happened in Macon County? The jail is so bad. Now it's got to be. Now that's the things that Aaliyah should be worried about. The jail in Macon County is so bad, so uninhabitable that they had to take all the prisoners from the jail. Okay. Another Central Alabama County jail is shut down. This time it's in Macon County. On Tuesday, Sheriff Andre Brunson confirmed to the TV station that the jail is uninhabitable and it has been closed for several weeks. So now they got to take their prisoners and put them all over Alabama, which I think is unconstitutional because you ought to be in jail in the city that you did the crime in. At least your family can come visit you. Now we're gonna send you all over Alabama like the prison system, and now your folks can't see you. Okay, you made a mistake. Okay, I mean, remember, listen. There's only two kind of criminals: the ones that got caught and the ones that didn't. I'm in the ones that didn't when I was stupid. So I mean, so there's only two kinds of criminals: one that got caught and one that didn't. Okay, and most of us, because if they start putting everybody in jail that's a criminal, there would be no room at the end for anybody. I'm just saying. So, but that is a shame when the jail is so bad that you have to close it down. Okay, that's so bad. That's really, 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 really bad. Yes. Good morning there, Dr. Joe. We appreciate you. Anyway, so am I making sense here? Okay, about the shark and the jail. I mean, we shouldn't take people outside of their own. Let the brothers out. Let them out. They learn their lesson. Just let them out. Because if you're in jail, you haven't done that. You haven't done anything that seriously anyway. You're probably in there for misdemeanors or something like that. I mean, let them out. Don't take them. Send them to Mobile. Send them to Coleman. Now there are a lot of places I wouldn't want to go to jail. Coleman is one of them because I heard Coleman is what you call a sundown town. Now I don't really know. I came through there when I went home to bury my sister. I came through up 65, and I know that's what Riley is from, Coleman, Alabama, someplace up there. But I wasn't stopping. I would keep on going. I heard that sundown town, and if you guys don't know what a sundown town is, but I'll explain to you one of these days. But I'm making sure that Interstate 65 saw me going straight past Coleman. Now, I'd rather stop in Clanton or someplace like that. Not in no, not in Coleman. Okay. So the two things we got on the table right now this morning is people whining about sharks. When sharks are only doing what they do naturally, and that is to bite your butt if you jump in that water. That's their job. Stay out their water, stay out of their way, and you won't get bit by a shark. So this weekend, if you just want to look at sharks, go on TV, go to what do you call them place in Atlanta? That big old place where they got all the fish and all that stuff. Yeah, aquarium. Okay, yeah, go to the aquarium. But the best way not to see a shark is close up. Okay, it's close up. That's the best way not to see a shark. It's close up. Don't even do that. Okay, so do we have this understood? I almost spent an hour on this. Do we have the understanding that when you jump in the water, when you no name, I shouldn't answer the phone because no name is always normally trouble. Good morning.
I'm on shit.
Oh, comment. Oh, I appreciate you. Okay, good. Appreciate it. Okay. So again, what we had this morning is two things. There's only two kind of crooks. Those have been caught and those that have not been caught. But we all crook. If you look in the mirror, now come on, I want y'all to be honest with me. It's just me and you. I want you to be honest with me. Haven't you broken the law someplace? Come on. You can just tell me. Haven't you broken the law? We all have broken the law. Now, we may have broken the little laws, but we still have break the law. We still have broken some laws, right? So we all crooks. Okay. Again, there's the caught and the uncaught. Okay. So let's not be so hard on people in jail sometimes, because the only reason we're not there, most of us, because we didn't get caught when we were stupid and young. Okay. I'm just saying we might not. So don't be so hard on the folks in jail. What we want them to do is learn. Okay. And I tell my son, the best way to learn from a mistake is somebody else's. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, so what else is on? Anybody got anything on their mind this morning? I don't care. So am I wrong about the shark thing? I think I'm right about it. Okay, don't jump in the water on this week. On this coming up weekend, or or is it next weekend? Whatever day it is, I think it's next 4th of July. It's next weekend. So what we do not want to do, okay, is go in the water, mess with sharks, their water, and then you whine about you got bit. Okay, I'd have bitten you too. Okay. Now, in Alabama, law enforcement agencies seized drug paraphernalia from retail stores in multiple cities. That means if you got anything that looks like you could smoke a roach out of it, or smoke marijuana out of it, or crack it or whatever. I don't even think we got crack anymore. Do we still have crack? Is crack still a thing? I don't think it. Haven't heard anything about it. I know. I went home to Indiana, to South Bend, a couple of years ago, and my sister told me something that I found just unimaginable. She told me that everybody in my family, my immediate family, at one point was smoking crack. I said, really? And she said, yeah. So I asked my sister, how did you stop? She said, I just stopped cold turkey. I mean, that crack stuff that's something else, but that's got nothing to do with paraphernalia. Okay. The paraphernalia is how you smoke. So you can't stop people from smoking crack if they want to smoke it. Okay. Okay. I'm just saying you can't do it. You can't stop them from smoking if they want to do it. So again, we live in a state that allows people to walk down the street with big old guns, but then we're worried about crack. We're worried about paraphernalia in people's stores. I think Steve Marshall ought to get his priorities correct here. It's not that big a deal if you want to go to a store and buy paraphernalia. It's just not a big deal. But going down the street with a rifle, a MAC-10, like I've seen it, or 357, or a rifle on your shoulder, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. We ought to stop that from going on, rather than, because it seems like to me, how can you say you have a constitutional right to carry a gun, but you don't have a constitutional right to smoke a little dope? It's your lungs. I mean, how you gonna say you don't have the constitutional right? We play with the Constitution in America. Okay, we play with the Constitution because we really don't know. We really don't know enough about the Constitution. Those people back in those days were pretty wise. Okay, they were pretty wise. But I mean, is there anybody out there actually think that people that these store owners should have their merchandise confiscated? But a guy can walk into their business with a gun, unless they say you cannot walking, but you still don't know if you got it because if it's concealed, you don't know if a guy's got a gun on him or not. So putting those signs on the door don't mean much of anything. The only thing you can say is that you cannot come here with your weapon out or exposed, but you can't tell who's got a gun when they walk in your store. You don't know because you don't and you don't have to have a license. I think that was a dumb thing. I think that was a dumb law. I mean, we need to have some way of recognizing people, at least in some manner, who walk around here with a gun, at least concealed. We need to. That was a dumb law. I'm getting on the governor for that one. She shouldn't have signed that one. Okay. Because you can already without signing that, you can already walk around with a gun. Long as people saw it, you were good to go. Like in your car, as long as people saw the gun, you're good. It's when you don't. It's when you conceal it where the problem came from. And so I don't know what legislator. Okay, what legislator thought it was a good idea to allow people unfettered access to guns and to be able to carry them openly or concealed without a license. I mean, what person are we paying $60,000 a month? I mean, a year to come up with legislation like that? Who does that? So you can't have marijuana. Okay, you can't have marijuana, but you can certainly have a gun in your pocket and nobody knows it's there, or you can walk in the store with a rifle. I mean, what legislator thought that was a good idea? And I'm all for the Second Amendment. I am. I'm good. The Second Amendment's a good thing to have. I like it. I like guns too. But we got crazy people walking around with guns now. I mean, we do. But we worried about paraphernalia. Okay, I don't know what that's all about. And again, and if you want to know what I'm talking about paraphernalia, so where's it? Where's a recent? Where Alabama's law enforcement agency sees drug paraphernalia from retail stores in multiple cities. Now it seems like to me, how do you know that they're going to smoke drugs with the paraphernalia? Somebody will take this to court, somebody with some money. Because how do you know they're going to smoke drugs with the paraphernalia? Because you can take a clothespin and put a doobie on it, and are you going to get rid of all the clothespins that there are? Because, sometimes they get so small, you can't. Not that I know anything about it because I've never smoked one, but I've seen it. Or how about the clips? The things you put you could take what do you call those things you put on paper? What do you call it? What do you call those? Come on, somebody tell me what that is. What do you call? Good morning, Christine. What do you call that? Yeah. Oh, that's law in many states thanks to NRA bagging. Well, I don't have a problem with NRA. I think the NRA it's a good organization, but we are dispensing common sense. We are lacking common sense. Because we need the NRA. Because somebody needs to protect those rights. I got you, but we still have to have a little common sense when it comes to this. We got the Steve Marshall's offices going around busting people, taking their stuff, their merchandise out of their stores because quote unquote it's drug paraphernalia, quote unquote. When it could be anything. What do you call those things? You hold paper. What are those things? You hold paper together with them. They're in offices. What do they call those things? They're little bitty things, and you put two pieces of paper together, and you put this thing on it, and it keeps them. Okay, I forgot exactly what you call them. But anyway, you can use those. I've seen people use those things to hold roach clips. Not real roaches, but marijuana. Because when the marijuana gets so small that you can't hold it in your hand, you take a staple. I think it's called a staple. Yeah. You take it's not a staple, paper clip. You take the paper clip and you can smoke it all the way down to the ashes because the paper clip's kind of small. So are we going to take paper clips from people now too? Are we going to do that? We're going to take paper clips out here. So here's what I want to see. I want to see somebody figure out how to smoke regular grass. That's right. The grass is in your yard. Because then what are we going to do then? Are we going to tell people from now on you can no longer have grass? See, one of these days, somebody's going to figure out how to make your grass, how you can get high on grass. And that's all going to be over. The drug war will be over when somebody figures out how to get high on grass, regular grass in your yard. Yeah, the drug war will be over. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, paperclip. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm just waiting for somebody to come up with it. Somebody, as a matter of fact, I may have to get with AI and see if I can come up with a formula where we can turn regular grass. So from now on, the city of Montgomery, at that point, city of Montgomery won't have to pick up any more grass off the side of the road because there won't be any, because we'll be smoking it. Okay, so that's what we need to do is figure out how to smoke grass. And I think you got to put it in the oven, turn it brown. I guess you can put it in the oven, turn it brown, and spread it with some reed or something. I don't know, and it'll be over. But the drug war will be over then, as soon as we figure out how to smoke regular grass. Okay, not the not the marijuana, but the regular grass. As soon as we figure out how to do that, the drug war is over. Yeah, it's over. It no longer exists. Once we figure out how to do that. I haven't come up with the right plan yet. Now, I don't want to smoke it, but I'm just saying some people might want to smoke it. But as soon as we figure out how to do that, there will be no more drug war. Because there's nowhere in the world you can catch everybody. You can tell people not to grow grass. It's going to happen. It is going to happen. It's not AI. And that's, AI. I'm going to figure out how. Okay. Yeah, AI. That's what we're going to do. We're going to figure out how to smoke regular grass. Let's see what Marshall's going to do then. Because maybe the rich people will be going to jail then because they got the big yards. I mean, they got the big yards. See, me, I like the patio home thing where you got like a couple of square inches of grass and that's it. But the big houses, especially ones out there in Greystone, the ones out there in Wind Lakes, Sturbridge, as soon as we figure out how to smoke regular grass, then the drug war in America will be over. Okay. So there ought to be some engineer out there right now. There ought to be somebody out there trying to figure this out. If you want to stop the war on drugs, make regular grass to the point where you can get high on it. Then when you do that, okay, now I do think that people have a right to get high if they want to. I don't have a problem with that. But you don't have a right to take your highness and endanger me. So you should treat marijuana the same way you treat alcohol. If you get a job that entails you have the life of other people as your responsibility, cab driver, airplane pilot, whatever the case may be, then you need to take a drug test because we don't want you high up there flying the airplane. You're already high enough already in that airplane. You don't need to be high twice. I'm just saying you might want to do that. Okay. So, all right. So what do we solve this hour? What do we solve? We solved that the Aaliyah had better things to do than go around taking paraphernalia from stores, who they gave till July the 1st to get rid of it. And now they surprise attack them. And guess what? They was wrong. Okay. I'm just saying. So let me take my top of the hour break here and we'll come back. And plus we figured out the shark. Let's stop blaming the shark for being a shark and let's blame the people. Okay. Let's blame the people for messing with the shark. Okay. Jumping in the shark's house. Because if you came home and somebody was in your house, okay, you would want to get them out of your house also. The shark is just doing the same thing. Don't be jumping in the shark water because that's his house, okay? And you wonder why he's biting you because you have invaded his house, okay? I'm just saying. So you might want to think about that before next weekend, before you decide to go to the beach. Just remember, the shark, that's his house, and that's where he hangs out. Okay, that's where he hangs out. So I take a break, but we'll be back. So So I hope you guys have been educated today on the shark. Okay, that's it. Doesn't take a PhD in in uh, in biology or a PhD in whatever they call the study of sharks. It doesn't take all of that. You just got to use a little common sense. Don't jump in the water of the shark because the shark lives there. Okay, the shark lives there. So do not be trying to take advantage of the shark because he will bite you. Okay, I'm just telling you that's the way it goes. Okay, so don't do that. If you want to survive, okay, do not do that. Now, gotta take a break. We'll be back after this message. All right. Hopefully we learn. About the shark and the marijuana and the paraphernalia. Okay, somebody ought to take Aaliyah to court. Tell them, I'm not using this for drugs. I'm using this for sugar. I put sugar on the table with this. Yeah. Prove to me that I smoke drugs because I want to buy it. You ought to come to my house, my store, and take it. Prove to me. Prove that I'm doing something wrong with it. Right? I'm just saying. So, we'll be back. Okay, we're back. We're here live. I hope the first hour was interesting. If not, blame somebody else. All right then. You see, I'm probably the most logical guy in the media in town. I use logic and reason. And that's enough of that. That's enough of that. We're tired of hearing that. Okay, I'm just saying we're tired of hearing that. So I'm the most logical person, I believe, in the media. Well, I'm not really in the media, but I'm sort of kind of. I'm the most logical person in the media because I have logic and reason. Okay, it is not logical. Okay, it's not logical to arrest people for marijuana, but also turn around and give them a gun. it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. It just don't make sense. It just doesn't make sense at all. It's not a reasonable position to take. Okay, but again, like I said, when somebody figures out when somebody figures out how to get high on regular grass, the drug war is over. Okay, it's just over. We're done with it. We won't even worry about it anymore. Okay, I'm just telling you. Anyway, now we got women in crime. Women are getting just as bad as the guys are. I mean, we're getting just as bad as the guys are. Just as bad. Just as bad as the guys are. And I'm wondering, why is that? But did anybody see the three things in the paper the other day where these, I think, two women and one man, they're robbing people and stuff like that? My Lord. Okay. What is going on out there? But they just getting, and we worried about paraphernalia in stores in multiple cities, but we're not, what? I don't know. Steve, it must have been a slow day. That's all I can tell you. A slow day. They have nothing else to do. And they felt, the problem is with the Attorney General's office on this situation, they probably were feeling guilty about getting their check. Okay. So maybe they just, I don't know. Now, here's something I found out the other day that Miss Love told me, Avis, you know who Avis Love Lewis is, right? Yeah. That they got a senior police academy, and I guess when you go to the academy to learn about laws and things of that nature. But here's the problem, and I talked to Gray Bowles about this. Why are we having it at night? Why are we having police academy at night for older people? Why are we doing that? We're already old, so now you want us to get robbed and hurt coming to the police academy? No, I can see doing it on the weekends, maybe in the daytime, but not at nighttime. That's just crazy to make old people come out, in the nighttime and go to the police academy when they got the time to go around. And we had something that used to be called volunteers. It was called VIP, volunteers in policing. What happened to those guys? They would help the police, not by arresting people or anything like that, but merely by going around being an eye in the sky, an eye on the ground, to help the police and just call them if you see something suspicious and things of that nature. So, what happened to volunteers in policing? What happened to it? Anybody knows what happened to it? Well, anyway, I don't want old people coming out here because I'm an old people, and I don't want to have to go. Well, I don't mind coming out there fighting. At least that's what my mind tells me anyway. Now my body may tell me something else, but I don't mind. But anyway, older people, especially ladies and women, come on, y'all. Yeah, Mr. Gray Bowles, y'all can do better than that. Mayor, you can do better than that. Don't make these people come out at nighttime. Okay, I'm just saying. Now, let me tell you guys something. We've been talking about immigration, right? We've been talking about immigration. I don't like the way we're doing it. I do not like the way we're doing immigration. I don't like rounding people up like animals and say you got to leave. I just don't like that. When we are the ones, when the last president said, "Come on over, come on in." So I do not like that. It is not the American way. Although you broke the law to get in here, and we understand that. But is it really breaking the law when the president of the United States tell you we won't send you back? Is it really breaking the law? Okay, I don't know. I just don't like that. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It reminds me of some of the countries I've been in back in the day, and the way they treated their people. And I just got a problem with the way we're doing. And all the things Trump has done, this is just the one thing that I'm all for sending people home if they come here illegally, especially if they get in trouble. They break the law, whatever the case may be. But to tell a man because he's been here 20 years, yeah, but you illegally now you got to go. I don't know. That doesn't sit with me because it's not like we don't have land. But here's what I would do. If you ever been to Montana or Wyoming or place out there, they got a lot of land, hardly no people. Here's what you do. I tell you what we'll do. We'll spot you $25,000 and let you go start in Montana. It's cold up there. It's cold. Winter. It's cold up there. But then we could populate. That part of the country, and get some economic growth going up that part of the world. Because right now, when I used to drive through there, headed back to Fort Bragg, all I saw up there was like cows and windmills. I mean, we need some people up there. and cowboys and cow stuff and things of that nature. So I'm just saying, so give them a choice. Say, listen, we can send you back or we can send you to Montana. It's cold in the wintertime. It is. It's cold up there. But I'm just saying, but that's your option. Okay. And that way we could get some economic growth going up there, some economic development. What is economic development? I don't know, but it's kind of like Sasquatch. We hear about it. We just ain't ever seen much of it. I mean, we hear every time the mayor has a state of the city or the state of the state, the governor, we always talk about economic development. And there's still parts of Alabama that hadn't seen that in a long time. Hadn't seen it. Yeah. Selma almost looks like it. Selma looks like almost when you go down there sometimes it's 1963. So I don't know. Tuskegee, I think Johnny Ford, who I like, spent too much time talking about the casino. Okay, rather than bringing some viable renewable businesses to that area. Okay, so and Selma, I don't know. I don't say. I mean, that's what irks me about this march that they do every year across that bridge, and all they leave behind is a bunch of trash down in Selma. So, but they act like they care so much about it. They act like it's the creme de la creme of the civil rights movement, but they don't ever. I've never seen anybody come there on whatever day that is and bring a contract for businesses to come there. I've never seen anybody say, "Hey, this year we found an investor and they're going to invest in a big time hotel down or whatever, something, or whatever." But you never see that. So they come here, they get across. Most of them drive up to the bridge and walk across, get in their car. They try to make it seem like they walk to the bridge and walk across it. They just be lying. I'm just telling you. Again, manipulation at its highest. Okay, that's just the way it goes sometimes. Anyway, so okay, so what else we need to talk about today? We talked about the senior thing there because the senior people don't need to be out at night trying to go to police academy or citizens academy. They don't need to be out there late at night. So somebody get this to Mr. Grayboles or whatever his name is, and tell him, or the mayor's office, and tell them, let these people come to this thing in the daytime. If you got to do it on the weekend, let's do it on the weekend. Okay, because what's going to happen? You get some of these people getting accosted or assaulted because it's nighttime. Then we're gonna be saying maybe we should do it in the daytime. Okay, and matter of fact, even daytime don't really guarantee much around here anymore. You can still get assaulted. But anyway, we need to take care of that. We need to undo that thing. Okay, we need to do that. Okay, we need to let these older folks get out there in the daytime and so they can get home safely. Okay, all right then. It is what time is it anyway? It is 8:16 in the morning. So if you got anything else on your mind, feel free. The Supreme Court the other day said that the president can now, and I don't like this part either. Okay, so I'm on again. If you got to send people home, let's send them home. Hello.
Yes, can you stay on till 10 o'clock?
10 o'clock. No, that's tough. That's tough. But I appreciate you asking me that. Really, yeah, not to 10 o'clock. Not 10 o'clock. But again, SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States, ruled that the Trump administration can resume deporting migrants to countries other than their home nation. Now, I got a problem with that. Okay, it's bad enough you're gonna throw me out. Okay, it's bad enough you're gonna throw me out, but now you're gonna throw me out in some country that I'm not even a member of. Okay, I mean, really? Come on, Donald. Really? Come on. I mean, now we're getting ridiculous here. Okay, now we're getting kind of ridiculous here. We don't want to. I mean, okay, if you're from Guatemala and they throw you out of the country for coming here illegally, okay, do what you got to do. But to send me to a country where I don't know anybody. I mean, come on. I mean, we are bordering on the insane with this. Okay, we're again, if you're gonna do that, send them to Montana, okay, or Wyoming, okay. I mean, let them populate that part of the country up there, and and spot them a couple $1,000 so they can get started. But yeah, sending people. I mean, what's the Supreme Court thinking? I mean, really? Okay, the Supreme Court ruled on Monday that the Trump administration could resume deporting illegal migrant criminals to countries that are not their home. I mean, who comes up with this? In a 6-3 decision that broke down among ideological lines, the justices stayed a late April ruling by Boston federal judge that temporarily stymied the rapid deportation effort. Because what is the real reason that, except they broke the law? I'm with you, but it is not. I could see we had a limited space in America. We had limited land. But did you guys know that all the people in the world, if they stood shoulder to shoulder, could fit in Los Angeles? So we don't have a lack of land. So what is really, what is the big deal? Are we really scared of changing the culture of America? Listen, America's made up of everybody from some other places. Okay, America is a melting pot of people from other places to come here. I don't have a problem with that. But again, so what is the real reason? We have land. If all the people in the world, if they stood toe to toe, side by side, they could fit in a space of Los Angeles. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know you guys didn't know that, but they can. So what is the problem with immigration? It's not that, again, what is this really a cultural? Is this a cultural kind of thing? Come legally, I'm with you, but it's not. It's not that we have a lack of land. And again, if you put people up in Wyoming or Montana, they can build cities up there. They can build cities. They can build homes. They can all the other things that need to be done. So what? I don't understand what the big deal about. Now I can understand New York got 8 million people in it. They're probably running out of a little bit of space, but give people an option to go live in Montana or Wyoming or whatever other city is around them other places up there. Give them a shot, because it's not about space, but it is about culture. Now, it used to be the people came to America because they wanted to be Americans. That's not really why people are coming to America anymore. We coming to America to get what you got. Okay, and come think about it, though. Now, just to be fair, we've gone to other places to get what we could get. So but let me digress. I meant to tell you this a few minutes ago. Did you guys know? Now, you guys may not know this, but I'm gonna tell you what's going on. So there's this big complaint about immigrants, right? Taking jobs from Americans. That's this big complaint. Now, I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but me personally, I'm not an agricultural worker. I can't do it. Now, I would work in a watermelon patch if they gave me a couple of watermelons there, that I could sell. I would work one day. I would work 8 hours as long as you gave me 5 watermelons that I could sell. Okay, and money. Okay, I could do that. I could do that. But I don't want to do it. I don't want to work out in the hot sun. It brings back nightmares. I get PTSD. I have inherited PTSD from my grandfather, my great grandfather, and all those folks for being out there in them bushes. I couldn't do it. But what if I told you there are other countries sending people? Now the difference is that this country that's sending people here, they go back. And see, and so they come here, they work, and then they go back to where they're from. But guess what country they're from? I know you haven't heard much about this because, well, it's not politically correct to say that. But I can tell you, down in certain places in Alabama, we have whites coming into America from South Africa because The reverse apartheid thing is happening up there, where we are trying to throw people off their land and throw people out of their houses and things like that. And so some of them folks are coming to America with their visas, and they're leaving, but they do come over here to seasonally and do work in Alabama. They do. You don't hear much about this, but yeah, we got some we got some South Africans that come here, and they're doing the right thing. They come here, they do some work, and they go home. Then I guess I come back. Now I would stay personally. If I ever touch the ground in America, I wouldn't go back no place. You had to find me. But anyway, that's something that we don't hear much about. But there are South Africans in America right now working just like Hispanics and Guatemalans and Nicaraguans and people of that nature. And what we haven't heard about them, because a lot of white South Africans are coming to America for seasonal work. Because we dump them out of their home and stuff like that. We can have an argument about how they got it. We can have an argument how they got it. Maybe their great grandmother or the great grandfather, whatever, took the land from the folks who originally owned it. And is it fair to dump them off their place they've known for home? That's a conversation that only they can have in South Africa. Because I don't, of course I think it is wrong. I think if your parents stole it from me, then it's still mine. You still owe me. But how you ferret all that out, I just don't know. That's like blaming people in America for the KKK, young folks today for what their parents did, but their great grandfather did. We can blame them all we want to. We can hold them accountable, but they didn't do it. And so that's one of those political things that I just wouldn't know how to. I wouldn't know how to salvage any good from that situation whatsoever. I wouldn't know how to do that. And so what's going on now in Africa is that we got white Africans, South Africans coming to America, working temporary jobs and going back over there. And of course, the difference is that they seem to go back rather than stay here with a visa that's no longer good. Like a lot of our Hispanic friends do, they just stay. And Jamaica sends. We got a bunch of Jamaicans in America too that they just stayed too. But I didn't think you guys. I know most of you guys didn't know that South Africans are in America are doing some labor jobs, primary labor jobs that nobody else would do. Now I don't know how anybody can work in the chicken factory. I mean, we don't have the machine for the chicken factory yet. We don't have machines that can pluck the chicken. We really don't. We don't. I mean, come on, we got a machine for everything. AI needs to work on that. Artificial intelligence needs to work on a machine that can pluck the chicken. Okay? Pluck the chicken, pick up the chicken when he comes out, when he gets hatched, and put him someplace else. So we need to come up with some machines to do that. But if we did that, then I mean there'd be another group of people who'd be out of a job. But I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I can. Yeah, I would never work. And I tried working at a cotton factory one time in Georgia. As a matter of fact, in Rome. Well, it was in Lindale, Georgia. But I worked at the. And the guy came in. I tried it. It was a big old bale of cotton, and we were supposed to take the cotton and do something with it. But I couldn't move the cotton. It was just too heavy. I mean, I was 17, 16 years old. It was too heavy. I couldn't move it. And so the guy patted me on the shoulder. He said, you're a little light in the butt for this. And so we got to let you go. I said, okay. Now, I wasn't really sorry about it because it was tough work. And I'd never seen real cotton before, So I seen corn, up in Indiana, I seen corn and cornfields and stuff like that and wheat, but I've never seen real cotton. And so I looked at it, and that thing was heavy. How can cotton be that heavy? But it is. It was all wrapped in together, and the guy just fired me right there on the spot. Said, you don't have what it takes. You can't do this work. So I said, okay then. I mean, that was the first time I ever got fired, and I was glad. Well, I got fired from Cumulus. Well, I didn't get fired. I just got laid off, but still the same thing. But anyway, so the number's here, just in case you want to, call us if you got something on your mind. It is, what's that number here? 521-2963. You can text me 922-3030. 922-3030 is my text number. Just in case if you want to. Okay. If you got something, because a lot of people don't want their name to show up on our screens and things of that nature. Okay. So anyway, who's this? Okay, we got somebody else there. Why not train real? Well, they are. Well, first of all, Felix. First of all, you can't train people if they don't want to be policemen. You can't train them. You have to have candidates. That's like training the army. Well, if nobody's joining, who are you going to train? So you can't train people who don't want to be policemen. And I don't know why people don't want to be. Well, it's politics. It's politics. It is not that people don't want to be policemen. I will have to say it does seem that a lot of people are mad at our mayor. A lot of policemen are mad at our mayor. I don't know the ins and outs of that. They say that he's too involved. I do not know that to be a fact. But why else would so many people be leaving? I mean, is it a leadership style that they don't like? I don't know. I like the mayor, but nobody's perfect. And so is it a leadership style that they do not like, or is it a personality quirk? I don't know. But you can't train police officers if nobody wants to be one. If nobody wants to be a police officer, you can't train them. You just can't do it. Okay. And again, I think my and somebody else said me the other day, my idea about warrant officers is a great idea. But however, the one thing Montgomery Police Department doesn't have, like, because I know Dirty Harry, remember Dirty Harry, who plays on him and the girl that played on Cagney and Lacey, the woman in that Gauntlet, whichever one it was. They were inspectors. And I think that what we do is we don't call them warrant officers, we call them inspectors. And I think that makes sense. And you could bring in retired police officers, but you will give them the rank of inspector. They're right between the middle of officer and sergeants. Okay. Therefore, they're there for guidance. They're there to help every once in a while, help a little bit as they can, but they only answer to the police chief. Okay. But they are inspectors or the OIC at their location. But it seems to me that that's a way to solve some of our policing issues. I'm pretty sure we got some policemen who want to go to work, who want to do something. You give them the rank of inspector or warrant officer, what we would call a warrant officer, and let them come on board and help out temporarily. And it's a temporary assignment. And we can feel, I guarantee you there are people out there that, and the sergeants couldn't go around telling what to do. But the higher ups, could put them in strategic locations in the Montgomery Police Department and let them help. And here's another thing. Somebody said this other day, which makes sense. We need to civilianize some of the jobs in the police department. We do not need corporals and sergeants sitting at a desk answering the phone. Okay, that's private duty, or private's duty, or civilian, which is worse than the private. But we need those people since we are every year we come up with a budget for the police department every year as if we are furnishing the whole police department, but we're not, because we're down 200 officers. So where's that extra money going? And that's something that I like to find out. I'm going to find out because where's that extra money going? If we furnish it, if we're given a budget for 400 something officers and we only got 200 something, where's that other money going from? Now, somebody said they use it for other things. Well, that's not right. So we need to civilianize some of the positions in the Montgomery Police Department, Mr. Gray Bowles. We don't need a sworn officer in uniform does not need to be in the police department answering telephones, and not at a time like this when we're short. So somebody tell them we need to civilianize jobs, because even on military bases now, We used to have military cooks. Now we got on base, we got civilian cooks. Those soldiers need to be out there training and learning how to do their job under the most dire and the most unusual circumstances. So we don't need a sworn officer in uniform answering the telephone. Okay, let civilians do that job. You got the money, you got the budget, and put these guys, these corporals and majors, and put them on the street. Okay, put them on the street. I think we got about 15 officers down there in the head shed. Okay, which HQ. We do that. So that's what we need to do. We don't need to have people. So I can't see. I'm brilliant. I come up with answers. I come up with some answers to help the police department all by myself. Civilianize people who answer the phone. Civilianize secretaries. Civilianize everybody. All the police officers need to be on the street. They don't need to be sitting in there answering the telephone. Everything's done by computer anyway. So you don't have to be a policeman to put John Doe's name in there. Like, "Wing, hello, can I help you?" Well, yeah, you can. What can I help you with? The dogs went up the road up there. They own the trees, and we're trying to get them down. Now, listen, do I really need a police officer to go out there to get your ugly cat out of a tree, or get your dog who got itself hung under the fence trying to get out? Really? Do we really need the policeman to do that? No. We need to civilianize some jobs at the police department and let the police officer hit the street. I know. You get a certain rank. I know you paid your dues. I feel you. But let me tell you what William Halsey said. William Halsey said, there are no extraordinary people. We have ordinary people that do extraordinary things given an extraordinary situation. So right now, our police department is extraordinarily low on people. So we need to take some of these officers out the head shed, put them in a car, okay, and let them hit the street. Let's civilianize those jobs, Graybos. We don't need to pay. We got the budget. And if the mayor's taking that budget or somebody's taking the money out that budget and using it for something else, then to me, that's misappropriation. Okay. It's for the police department. So I'm going to find out exactly what the budget is for the police department. And then we can civilianize some jobs in the police department, just about all of them, as a matter of fact, except on the street. Okay. That's when you need the police officer, at least temporary. It's a temporary solution to hopefully a temporary problem. Okay. That's what we're thinking. Okay. But anyway, so we have trained, Felix, you got to have police officers to train, but we don't need a trained police officer sitting in the head shed on the air condition while the troops are out there, working hard. Okay. One thing, and I guess that's the difference between naval officers and policemen. They think once they get a certain rank, they don't have to do certain things. Well, and maybe sometimes you don't, but you always got to be willing to do what you ask other people to do. You always have to be willing to do the same job that you ask other people to do, because that's good leadership. So we need to put some of these fat butts out there on that street and let them patrol with the guy and things of that nature, and civilianize. The only job I can think of then in the head shed that needs to be a sworn police officer, I don't know who. I mean, you can even use civilian to put people in jail, as long as you train them. Long as you train them, to take them from the front desk to the jail cell. Just seems like to me we could do that. But not just me. Somebody made that discussion. Somebody made that remark the other day. Told me about that. He called me and said, "Well, yeah, we could," and I agree with him. We don't need to have sworn officers in the police department answering telephones. We just don't need to do that. We need those guys on the street. Okay. Now the numbers here, just in case you got something on your mind. If you do, you can call me. Unless you think I'm wrong. 521-2963. 521-2963. 521-2963. So if you believe that that's a good idea, somebody needs to Somebody needs to call the mayor and tell him that Elkin said we need to, one, bring back some retired policemen, make them inspectors, give them the rank of a warrant officer. In the military, be warrant officer, but we call them inspectors. They don't work for sergeants. They don't really. They answer to the chief, and they answer to the immediate supervisors over a particular detail. But their job is to lend a hand where a hand is needed for the time being. It's a temporary position that you'd have. But it seemed like to me, that's a great idea. I mean, I knew I was smart, but I just didn't know I was that smart. Anyway, so what are we doing? And we always judge presidents by the wars they get us into, or by the conflicts that we involve our troops in. And I will tell you, just so y'all know, Truman, which I like Truman. Historically, I like Truman anyway. I don't really know what it was really like, but he seemed like a fair kind of fellow to me. But Truman had, he dropped the atom bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Kennedy was involved in Indonesia, Cuba, Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia. Nixon, Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia. Clinton, Iraq, Somalia, Haiti, Yugoslavia, and Sudan. So all of us, Bush, Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Arabia, Yemen, and a few other places. Doesn't matter. Obama, Afghanistan, Yemen, Iraq, Ethiopia, Kenya, and a few places that you guys haven't really heard of. Okay, Biden, Afghanistan, Yemen, Somalia, Niger, Iraq, Syria, and a couple. What's the other one? And a couple other. So every president. Now Trump is the only one that really hasn't. Now he may be on the verge of doing it, but Trump is the only one that hasn't really got us involved in anything new. Okay, I mean we always have been allies with Israel. Okay, but I don't really think he wants to send our guys over there unless he absolutely have to. So all these presidents, got a history. And again, I was telling my son the other day, listen, the military is the arm of the government that carries out the policies of the United States. If in fact we find ourselves in that situation, but that's what the military is for. Okay, it's not to sit home all the time. It's to go places. First of all, you get every time you go someplace, they don't charge you to go. You get to go. You get a free ride on a plane or something like that, or a boat, whatever you own. So I don't. I like going places, to tell you the truth. I find it exciting. Although I went one place one night, I still don't know where I was till this day. I don't know where I was. I don't have a clue where I was. Okay, but however, so what did we discuss today? What have we discussed today? We have discussed. Okay, let me get back to my notes here. Now, we have discussed many things today that hopefully I've enlightened you on something. We discussed that there are South Africans in America doing laborious jobs. The different beings, though, they go back to South Africa when they're done doing their job, and their seasonal job. But they come over here. And we don't hear much about it because we're too busy worried about the Hispanic folks. We don't know much about that, which I don't care. I think anybody can come over here. I ain't got no problem with that at all. None whatsoever. We talked about the jails in Macon County that is so bad, that we have taken people and send them all over Alabama. And so if your relatives live in Tuskegee or someplace like that, they can't see you because the jail got bad. How do you get a jail that goes that bad when you got? I mean, you've had sheriffs up there forever. So how does it get that bad? I don't know. Maybe the city council didn't spend no money. Okay, so all Macon County inmates transferred from an uninhabitable jail Unfortunately, that's the way we roll, I guess. Also, we talked about Steve Marshall going out taking people's paraphernalia from their stores like that's a big deal. But on the other hand, letting people walk around with guns on the street and killing people. So the time we spent getting paraphernalia from people's stores could have been spent trying to figure out who the fools are around here shooting people. So again, that's just my thought. Yeah, let's see. Got people smoking marijuana. I got people shooting other people. Where's my priority at? Okay. So we won't let you sell paraphernalia, but we'll let you carry a loaded gun. And we'll let you carry a loaded gun without a license. And even though store says no guns allowed, they don't know if you got a gun in your pocket or not. Okay. And unless they put up a what do you call that thing? Unless they put up one of those metal detectors, everybody can walk in there with a gun and they'll never know. And I'm gonna give the legislator and the governor responsibility for that because they're the ones says you don't need a license to carry a concealed weapon. I totally disagree with that, but what my call. So now we got folks around here 5'1" that think they're 6'3" because they got a gun in their pocket. And the proliferation of gunshots, the proliferation of violence has, in my mind, has correspond with the letting people walk around with guns uninhibited, unsupervised, and unlicensed. So I think the proliferation of gun crime has grown after that because now you don't know who got a gun. Even a concealed weapon, you don't have. And listen, people have always carried concealed weapons and didn't have a license because they wouldn't go down there and get one. But there were people who did go down and get their license, and those are the people I trust. I don't trust people walking around without license. So we did that. So okay, so we talked about that. We talked about 3 people been arrested for Montgomery's armed robbery shooting investigation. 2 women, 1 man, and wow. But anyway, but I know they're Democrats. Yeah, I know they are. I know they're Democrats. Yeah, I know they are. So everybody that's shooting around here is a Democrat. Okay, in the streets. Okay, I mean, now when you get robbed in the suites, that's probably a Republican. That's probably a Republican who think you can't read anyway, so he's just gonna get it from you. But I'd rather get robbed in the suites than robbed in the streets. Okay, that's where I look at it. Okay, then what else we talk about today? Okay, so the inmates are gone. Oh, we talked about sharks. Okay, we talked about sharks. That everybody gets all upset when the shark bites you, but you're in his house and you're in his house. It's where he lives, and you think that you can just jump in his house anytime you want to without repercussions. I'm sorry, the shark don't play that. Okay. It's where he lives. So next weekend, when you guys decide that you want to go to if the weekend should get here, and you guys decide that you want to, you want to go swimming, that's fine. But you need to get some permission from the shark first. Okay, you don't just jump in the water and try swimming in his backyard. Because how would you like if somebody just came to your house, moved in, and didn't ask you? Okay, I'm just saying. So you might want to. So let's stop blaming the shark. Put the blame on where the blame goes, and that's the people who are invading their house. I'm just saying. I think that's We also talked about senior police academy at night. Why do you want to put older people in harm's way at night? So we need to do something about that. We don't need to let that happen anymore. Okay, South Africans are coming to America temporarily to do work. Okay. And one ruling from the SCOTUS that I don't agree with is you let the president send people. Let the president send people out if they're here illegally, fine. But to be able to send them to somebody else's country, I'm just that does not pass the smell test to me. That's not right. Okay. And one thing I've always defended about America, we have never been the provocateurs. But we don't mind helping others. But in this case, I think we're wrong. I think we're wrong. We shouldn't send people. I mean, you got to send them home. Well, send them home, but don't send them to somebody else's country. How the Supreme Court came up with that ruling, I will never know. So we're going to send people who are here from Nicaragua, uh, Colombia, all these places. We're going to send them to other countries just to get them out of the United States. I just find that to be absolutely crazy. But that's what the Supreme Court is saying. So one of these days we need to right that ship. Okay. Anyhow, okay. What else we talked about today? Yeah, I think is that about it. But the shark thing was a big deal. I'm just telling you. Okay. Oh, and paraphernalia. Well, you know the Aaliyah wants to go out and take your hash pipe or your whatever it is, your crack pipe. I don't even think we got crack anymore. We don't have crack anymore, do we? Is crack all gone? I think it's all gone. Is crack all gone? I think it is. I'm not sure, but I hope it is. But anyway, so I hope somebody in the mayor's office listens to this and our suggestions about how to handle the shortage of police officers. One thing, and we talked about get rid of policemen sitting in desks at the headquarters. They can civilianize those jobs and put those guys on the street. Okay, I mean that's they're like our company commanders or our squad leaders, whatever they are. They need to be on the street working with the troops. Okay, so we need to do that. We don't need to. We just don't need to let everybody sit in the office. We realize air conditioning is good. We appreciate it. I like it. I like working in air conditioning too. But you got a job just like a soldier. You know, your job is to defend this nation. Your job is to defend this city. And you can't do that sitting at a desk. There's not a job in the administrative arm of the Montgomery Police Department that can't be done by a civilian. Okay? You can't be done. The police do their arresting. They bring you there, and there's no reason in the world why, at least in my mind, why you bring them there, and you have maybe one policeman to make sure that things don't get out of hand. But for the most part, civilians can do any job. Once you come inside that police department, there's no job that can't be done by a civilian. Okay. Now, maybe legally there's some law that says you can't do this, you can't do that. You can't arrest people unless you are, but the officers do the arresting, bring you down there. So at least for the time being, we can free up some people in the police department to get on the streets and do their thing. Okay. I don't care what rank they got. Oh, so Big C, I didn't know crack was still around. I thought it was gone. I thought we did away with it. I thought it left like COVID. You know, it was here for a minute and it did all its damage and now it's gone. But Big C said crack is still here. Well, who's taking it? I don't know. Who's selling it? I don't know. But okay, if that's how we rolling still, I didn't know crack was still here. I didn't know. Mike says the mayor and the city council should find 2 people in their district to join the police academy. You know, that's not and sponsor them. That's not a bad idea. And let's put some responsibility on the people who that's not a bad idea. But I have to understand when you say they should find 2 people in their district to join the police academy. You mean they should go market it they should be responsible for 2 people becoming police officers by suggesting that they join. I mean, you can't make them become police officers, but I hear what you're saying. I think what you mean to say is that they should strategically try to find some people who want to join the police department, right? I didn't know crack. Anyway, he said, your guess is as good as mine. I saw someone walking backwards a few days ago, and I said, yep, he smokes and sniffs crack. Well, maybe he was trying to figure out where he came from. So he was walking backward. I'm just saying, I'm not sure. Anyway, so much for that. Okay, so those are the things we talked about today. Now, we're going to redo this show because everybody needs to listen to me because I'm the only guy that got common sense in this city on the media. I use common sense, and I'm not afraid to tackle any issue that there is out there. I'm just not. So share me, tell folks about it, and it's the only podcast where you can actually call in and give your opinion, and I appreciate that. Okay. Well, my time's almost up. Unless you guys got something else you want to talk about, I don't think you do though. You went out there kind of quiet today. Okay. So one last recap. We talked a little bit about I think we already got it. Sharks. I think I got the shark thing pretty much covered. Don't go in the water and mess with the sharks, because if you do, the sharks will bite you. And then let's not get on the TV talk about how bad sharks are. Sharks are sharks. Okay, that's like somebody said the dog bit me. Well, dogs bite. Dogs have teeth. They will bite you. Okay, I'm just saying that's what they do. All right. So I'm just saying. So don't tell us things we already know. We know the dogs bite. Okay, don't mess with the dog. Okay, and you don't have to worry about them biting. Don't mess with the shark's house, and you don't have to worry about the shark biting you. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, I hear you. Yeah, because people think I'm live, but I don't be live. It'll be okay. I'll try to get that. I'll try to do that. Okay. So anyway, we're going to and it'll be in a couple of hours because it got to process the file and all that stuff, and then we'll do that. All right. So if there are no other issues for me to handle today, I think I've taken care of the police issue. I've solved the police shortage of policemen temporarily for the time being. Bring back retired people, make them warrant officers, call them inspectors, and life goes on. And yeah. Okay. Yeah, John. Hello, Mr. Bowman.
I thought you're live right now.
I am live right now.
Oh,
Hey,
I was calling.
go ahead.
Huh?
I
No,
said,
I was calling to tell you we've got some graduations coming up at Hope Inspired Ministries. Plus, if anybody knows anybody that needs employment, we are starting our class this week. We've kind of cut it off, but if they hear it on the Kevin Elkin show, we'll still let them in.
okay. Matter of fact, I did something about that yesterday on Hope Inspired Ministries, and hopefully, and tomorrow I'll make sure I mention it again, because you're right. We are, you guys do a great job over there. I mean, really. Then I was telling people yesterday, if you find yourself in a situation in life and you can't figure out how to get out of it, come to Hope Inspired Ministries. It's 145 Coliseum Boulevard. But the number is what?
6494330.
Okay. Yeah. Don't give up.
And if you want, if any of the viewers want to be blessed, we've got two. I'm actually headed to Coleman now for graduation, but we've got graduation coming up Thursday night in Lowndes County, which is just down the road. But then next Tuesday we'll be in Montgomery. We'll have graduation of the previous class. We've got 9 that'll be graduated. You can hear how they're out in the community working, reinvesting instead of taking from the community. But now they're contributing members of the community, and you can hear their story. And that's going to be at Better Covenant Ministries Church down on right next to the zoo down in Chisholm.
Oh, okay. That church I used to go to. Yeah, they changed the name of it. Yeah, okay. I didn't know it was going to be there. Okay.
Yeah, Pastor Prude Church.
Okay.
Down there, outstanding church.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is John Bowman, who's the executive director of Hope Inspired Ministry and a former Montgomery police officer. Did you hear my solution to the police shortage problem?
I didn't. I logged into Facebook and I saw you on and had to call, but I'd love to hear it. What is it?
Well, we take retired police officers, bring them on as inspectors, which is what we would call a warrant officer, and let them help. And they only answer to the top dogs of the police department, and they are in a capacity where they assist people, and you don't get to run roughshod over them. But it's a great idea, and I think, man, it's an outstanding.
It is. And they do have. I've talked to several that have gone back on a part-time basis, but there's I think there would be a great thing. You said inspector, but even on the investigator side, man, there's some incredible investigators out there that are retired that would probably love to come back and work some work some cases, and that would the only way to stop crimes is catch the criminals. So that would be the avenue to catch them.
Yeah, yeah. And we need to civilianize a bunch of jobs down there because you don't need a police guy sitting there answering the phone. You can put a civilian in there for that.
You very well could.
Yeah, I know you
very well could.
That's because I'm the smartest guy on radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to find some retired Army veterans and have them come back.
Yeah, that's true. They can do that.
Airborne.
That's a now. Then we would get the city in a bunch of lawsuits because we put a boot up somebody's butt literally, and then then the mayor's already kind of solved, so we don't want them. We don't want to give them no more reason to suspend me. So
they use the state troopers helicopter, so they can have you jump out.
Yeah, I can land at night. Let me jump at night so they don't know I'm coming. Anyway, John, appreciate it. I'll make sure I mention I'll make sure I mention this again in the morning. Thanks.
All right, Kevin, thank you.
All right. John Bowman, Executive Director of Hope Inspired Ministries. And I tell you, it's a great organization. If you know somebody that's having a hard time, can't find a job, don't know which way it's up, that's almost giving up, but not quite. Hope Inspired Ministry is the place you want to go. We teach you, they teach you how to get a job. And if you don't really have any skills, they'll teach you some soft skills on how to get a job. And we work. And if you're a business leader out there and you need some good people to work for you on a temporary basis, we'd love to have you train some of our young folks and even old folks. There's no age limit. If you can get to Hope Inspired Ministries, if you can come out there, they're willing to help you do all that help you be all you can be, regardless of your circumstances and regardless of where you've been in life. Their job is to help you make it. Okay. I'll tell you a little bit more about Hope Inspired Ministries tomorrow, hopefully. Anyway, rebroadcast coming up in a couple of hours. And I was brilliant today. Anyway, see you guys later. I was really brilliant today, though. Bye.